Hello YouTube and welcome to yet another Doctor Who video. In this Doctor Who video I will be going through my Doctor Who audio collection. Now this video was requested by Harry Williams, so thank you for the request. So without further ado, let's have a look at the collection. Okay, so here we go. Now I wasn't going to do it this way originally because I've had a few problems with filming it a different way. I've decided to resort to this way. So first of all, let's have a look at Galaxy 4. Galaxy 4 is a brilliant story. It's got a lovely twist, but the Drahvin are actually the bad guys and the Rill are the good guys, which is a really nice twist. Then we have Adventures in History, which is the Mythmakers, the Massacre and the Highlanders. The Mythmakers is a fun little historical story. The Massacre, it's a bit slow to start off with, but when it gets going, it's pretty good. The Highlanders, it's an average story. It's okay. The only good thing about it is it introduces Jamie. Then we have the Dalek Master Plan, an epic 12-part adventure, which also includes the Mission to the Unknown, which is the prequel. Yeah, fantastic story. I'd love this story to exist because each episode is different and it's fresh and exciting. Celestial Toymaker, that is a brilliant story. As I've said before, it needs to be found because it would work so much better if it was visual. But the Celestial Toymaker himself is an excellent villain. We have the Smugglers, the first outing of Ben and Polly in the TARDIS. It's an average historical story. It's not that good as, well, it's not the best, but certainly not the worst. This is rumoured to have been discovered along with the Massacre, Marco Polo and Macra. There was apparently the BBC shop put Marco Polo for pre-order on the BBC shop. If you want to check out that because it revealed the cover and stuff, then yeah, I'll put a link in the description so you guys can make out whether it is fake or not. Then we have Power of the Daleks, which is a fantastic story. It is brilliant. It is definitely one of my favourite Dalek stories. The Daleks are menacing and it is fantastic, and it's one of the best Doctor opening stories ever. Yes. Macra, another story I've been wanting to listen to or see since I was 9 because I love the idea of the Macra. So I do myself love the Macra. The Macra itself is an average story. Faceless Ones, well, I put a custom DVD cover on. Cover looks a lot better than the actual cover. And it is the departure of Ben and Polly. And the Faceless Ones is a brilliant story. It's fantastic. Then we have Evil of the Daleks, the first ever audio of the missing episodes I got, and it's fantastic. 7 parts long and it just flies by. It's like a movie. It exists because it's so good. It introduces us to the Emperor Dalek and Victoria, and the Doctor has to work with the Daleks in order so Jamie will sort of survive. And I don't like it, but he has to go, well, the second Doctor has to go behind Jamie's back. Enemy of the World, we have I listened to this back in February and 2013, and it was brilliant, and I'm so glad this story exists because it is so underrated, but now it's finally getting the appreciation that it deserves. Yeti Attack, which contains the Abominable Snowmen and the Web of Fear. Abominable Snowmen is brilliant. It's a fantastic story, and it is a good introduction to the Great Intelligence and the Yeti. The Web of Fear, again, is a fantastic story. Okay, so now we have Fury from the Deep. Now this story I really want to exist because it is the departure of Victoria, and I love the few surviving clips will exist of Quill and Blake exhaling the gas. It just seems a really good story, and it is fantastic. If you want to know more about this story, check out my review of the Fury from the Deep. Then we have Wheel in Space, a Cyberman story what introduces Zoe. Again, a really good story. I really do like it. 6 parts long. Then we have the Space Pirates. This is an okay story. It's a Marmite story, but I find it a filler story. It's not that good, to be honest, but hey, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not like the Web Planet. Then we have the Paradise of Death. Again, it's a really good story. I really do like it. Then we have the Ghost of N-Space, which is fantastic. If you want to know more about the story, check out my review. And finally, we have an interview with Jon Pertwee. David Banks interviews Jon Pertwee. There are another two of these, which is Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. Yeah, so let's move on to the other. Okay, so now we're on to the Hornet's Nest. Now I've only got 3 of these and 3 of the Serpent's Crest, because they only had those 3 in the works. And I got them for a really good price. There are 5 parts, or 5 stories in the Hornet's Nest and the Serpent's Crest. I haven't listened to any of these, as I've said before. So there we are, Hornet's Nest Part 2, 3, and the Serpent's Crest. Part 2, and Part 3. Now we move on to Destiny of the Doctors. We have Vengeance of Stone. Yeah, it's an okay story, and it introduces the character of Mike Yates before Terror of the Autons, so we get a bit of background information on Yates. Night of Whispers. This is a good story. Nick Briggs does a fantastic impression of Christopher Eccleston, and it is really good. I do like The Night of Whispers. Then we have The Time Machine, performed by Jenna Coleman. Sadly, Jenna Coleman isn't Clara, it's another character called Alice, but nonetheless, it's still a good story. We have Lords of the Red Planet, which basically tells the story of the Ice Warriors, how they came to be and all that. Apparently this was going to be in the same slot as Seeds of Death, so this would have been where Seeds of Death was, but we got the Seeds of Death instead. I haven't listened to this yet, but I will listen to that after I've listened to the 8th Doctor Adventures. We have Blood Tide, the only Silurian adventure in the Big Finish range. The 6th Doctor and Evelyn work wonderfully in this story. We have the Silver Turk, which you should know my thoughts on because I've just reviewed it. Army of Death, with skeletons walking and stuff. Yeah, the Mary Shelley trilogy really does have a gothic feel to it, and it's brilliant. I do like the Mary Shelley trilogy. Storm Warning, the first ever 8th Doctor audio. I haven't actually listened to this because it came in the post today. Yeah, apparently this is really rare to get because it is out of print and everybody wants to see the first McGann audio, so I'm really pleased that I've got this. Stones of Venice, this is, again, came in the post today along with Storm Warning, because I managed to get both of those off eBay for good prices. Yeah, this story intrigued me because it is basically the final days of Venice before it sinks. Then we have Terra Firma. I haven't listened to this one, but it is the 8th Doctor confronting Davros, which sounds rather exciting. Timeworks, where the 8th Doctor encounters Clockwork Men, not the ones we know from The Girl in the Fireplace. The music in this is brilliant. Charlie, Chrissy and the Doctor have a brilliant relationship in this, and yeah, it's a good story actually. I do like the Timeworks. Then we have my only 2 stories from Series 1 of Lucy Miller Adventures, which is Human Resources and Human Resources Part 2. Okay, so now we have Dead London, the Series 2 opener. Again, I haven't listened to this, but I'm looking forward to it. Well, listening to it. Zygon Who Fell to Earth is a brilliant story. We've got Demos, an Ice Warrior story from Series 4. I haven't listened to this because I've been listening to Dark Eyes and I want to listen to that first. Resurrection of Mars, which follows on from Demos. It's a really good story. Now we move on to Dark Eyes. Let's move it forward. We have The Great War. I'm not going to say anything about Dark Eyes because it is my next review. Fugitives. Tangled Web. X and the Daleks, that's the end of Dark Eyes 1. Dark Eyes 2 starts off with The Traitor. The White Room, Time Horizons, and The Eyes of the Master. Now on to other audios, what I've got from newspapers and magazines. So we've got The Runaway Train, which is fantastic, I really do like it. Hound of Artemis, it isn't as good as The Runaway Train. Mutant Phase, I don't really like it. Cuddlesome, I haven't listened to it. Slipback, again I haven't listened to it. Exploration Earth is a fun little story. Genesis of the Daleks, what more do you want me to say about that? Pest Control Part 2 and Pest Control Part 1. Now, I'm not a fan of Pest Control at all. So this is in my audio collection. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I may update it in the next couple of months when I do a collection update again. But yes, this has been my audio collection. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.